Welcome, Deviant Drivers, to another episode, number 15 of A Drink with a Driver. As you can see, I'm joined with a new host. Bad Rock Jones is with us today. He's
Hello,
hosted
everybody.
this before. So, everybody say hi to Bad Rock.
Hey, thanks for having me, buddy.
Hey, good to have you again. It's always good to have you. And we got a little mystery guest down there. I don't know if anybody can figure out who he is, but we're going to introduce him in just a second.
Top
Uh,
secret.
He's if they can't figure it out. All right, we'll go
Can't
ahead
crack
and
the code. Never gonna happen.
can't do the yeah. All right. Well, I introduced to all of you Boat, who is with us tonight. Boat, say hi to everybody.
Hey everybody, well, I'm not seeing any of you, but good to see you two, at least.
It's good to see you too,
Yeah,
Good
thanks
to
for
see
having
as
you
me.
too,
well.
too.
But not in a tutu. That would be weird.
Very weird.
So first off, we'll start. Junkai is doing good. So everything's going well. I'm sure by the time this airs, he'll be bouncing into the Discord and talking with you guys and everything like that. But just give you all an update. So Bad Rock is filling in on this episode for him. And oh boy, do we have an exciting episode to talk about. We got all kinds of stuff we got to talk about, don't we?
We do. I would say though, could I suggest maybe a drink to Junkai's health?
Absolutely. Let's toast to Junkai and hopefully much better leg. Junkai,
Cheers to you. There you go, bud. Gone but not forgotten.
gone but not forgotten.
I mean, he'll be back. He's nothing happened. Everything is good. But yeah, no, exciting racing this weekend. Like I'm contextualizing for myself. Finishing in the middle of the pack though was still like a nail biting race for myself, and it felt like the vibe in the Discord afterwards from everybody, at least in Group 3. And Group 4 obviously was like a whole other thing. Woo. But like the vibe in the Group 3 chat afterwards was that everybody kind of seemed like they were in the same place, where it was like, man, that was like a good intense race. Like that was a solid race. So what did you think, Bo?
Yeah, it was pretty intense. I was worried, especially going into that first corner, because you have that sharp hairpin, and if you take the apex too tight, it kind of throws the back end of your car around. And when I was practicing, I think I did that probably half the time, half the laps I did. And I'm always worried about the occasional dive bomb or missing your breaking point, especially when you're like in the top four. That's always a possibility. But on the whole, the race I thought was good. I was intrigued by the battle behind me in the first 10 laps. Junkai and Berman were going at it, and I almost went off a few times just watching them in my rearview mirror. So very exciting.
Well, but
Merc-
let's get to know you a little bit. We got some questions for you, and we kind of do this all the time. And let's find out a little bit about, well, Bad Rock, just go ahead and fire away. I think you got one, and Boat
yeah,
doesn't
so
know what it is.
I've
So
got I have this question, like I've had this really honestly the whole time. Like so I got the opportunity to we met in person and watched the Suzuka, I think it was last year, right? In October.
Kota.
Coda, right. It was all right. So anyway, I had the opportunity to meet you in person, and after having raced against you and seeing that you were basically an insane person in Gran Turismo, I sort of hoped that you would show up and be some sort of chud. And instead, as probably everybody can see right now, you're a thoroughly average dude. Like, you seem like a normal guy. So, what the fuck? Explain yourself. How does this work?
Well, no one can see it, but I'm actually 400 pounds from the waist down. So, um, there's that. I'm not completely normal. Bad Rock didn't mention that. Um, but yeah, I mean, just a normal person. We got two kids, been married almost 10 years, and this is kind of like the only thing I have time for on the side. And a lot of my time is taken up by my kids and their things, and everything that comes with that. Like, for example, I was scrambling for a beer for 10 minutes because I couldn't find my bottle opener because had been moved, and just never happens when you're single.
So how long have you been actually like, racing, like sim racing or whatever?
I've been racing since I mean, sim racing probably since 2019. I started on Gran Turismo Sport. I bought a Logitech G29, put it on my desk, was playing that, played it during dinner, played it, while my wife was wanting to hang out, and just really obsessed over it for a long time. And but like racing games have really been a big part of my life. I grew up playing Top Gear Rally on Nintendo 64, Cruising USA, all kinds of games. It was just the repetitive, like trying to improve, and it was just like therapeutic for
Can I
me.
take a brief aside here for you? I'm sorry, because now we're talking about the like fondly about the games of yesteryear, and you named some bangers, right? Some golden
Yeah.
oldies. All right, so Mercury, a couple weeks back, I made the joke to Bo about the Daytona, and
Oh
he was like,
yes.
I have no idea what you're talking about. So does that mean anything to you? What I just did? Does that mean anything to you at all?
Yeah, the Daytona game, the arcade game
Yes.
in arcades back in the day. I mean, I think
Yeah.
I don't know if Glovis even knows what we're talking about, probably, but they don't even have those things. But Glovis, there used to be these places in the mall and things, which doesn't even really exist
Oh wait,
anymore.
yeah. So a mall used to be a collection of stores that was all.
Back when
Yeah,
people used to go outside.
people, and believe it or not, we used to walk down these things for hours and hours as teenagers for some unbeknownst reason. But there was things called arcades where you could pay money and play these games back in the day. And yeah, Daytona was one that was super awesome, super fun, and yes, that's a cool game.
So we were racing around Daytona because he was subbing for our team that week for Team Audi in the first week of the season, and I think I was a beer in, and I kept on Daytona eating over and over again, and it was as fun for me as you might imagine, and as fun for Bo probably as you could imagine as well. So, but he had no idea what I was talking about, and I thought it was a function of age. I'm hugely gratified to know that you understood what I was talking about,
I
Merc.
did.
Thank you.
100%.
So Bo, when you like knowing that you basically started on a wheel and all this in 2019, right? And it's not as though that was 100 years ago. At what point would you say that you kind of graduated into like, oh, I'm pretty good at this. Like I'm better than the average bear.
Yeah. Well, when I was on GT Sport, I played that, and there was a website you could go to track your SR and driver rating, and it just looked like this. I'd do really well, and then I'd rage at someone, or someone would knock me off, and like I would get a 10-second penalty for being smashed into the wall. Your normal sport mode stuff. And it wasn't until I moved into where I currently live, and I got honestly, when I got the Fanatec wheel, that I really started to like get serious about it, because I could just you can feel so much more, especially when the car is starting to slide a little bit, you can correct it. And that was the biggest difference, I think, for me. I started getting better on my Logitech wheel when I kind of had my own space, as you can see behind me. Um, just not like strapping my wheel to the desk in the living room where all the kids and everyone's playing and it's loud. Just a concentrated place. So yeah, I would say that's when I started getting
Well,
serious. And
let's talk about specifically what is behind you. Explain a couple of the cool items that you got back there in the background, because I spy a car
oh yeah,
right there. That
That's
what
you posted
is?
that in a Discord, right?
I did. Yeah. So this is and prepared to be wowed at how large this is. That's what she said. Um, this this Le Mans car is the Peugeot Le Mans car that ran at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and it's huge. It's like the length of my shoulders,
Yeah, that is big.
um, and it's got these sort of light up, glow in the dark headlights, really cool tail lights, and the engine cover comes off as well.
Yeah.
Really just every car nerd's fantasy Lego thing.
Super awesome. How long did it take to build?
It is, I think, 1,600 pieces, and it took me maybe 3 days. I was doing it during work. I probably shouldn't have. If it's my employers are watching, I was not. It was on my 10-minute allotted breaks and lunch breaks. Um, but if they're not listening, then yeah, I was doing it almost all day. So
Yeah,
uh,
so pretty much all day.
yeah, yeah. But
Cool.
I platinum Gran Turismo while I was working, and then I got laid off. Weirdly enough, a couple months later. I'm not really sure if there was a connection between those things.
I don't
But
know.
yeah,
Sounds like
Wow.
causation.
who knows?
Weird.
Yeah, so I have that, and then I also have my Circuit of the Americas wooden thing I bought at Circuit of the Americas. It was like $1 million more expensive than it needed to be, but you know, the novelty of saying I got it there. So
There's something to be said that it came from there. It could come from anywhere else. Anybody can get them, but to get something from the place has significant value. I agree.
true. It's true. And if you remember in 2022, there was a big crash in Formula One between Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso on the back straight. For reasons unbeknownst to everyone, Lance Stroll slams into the back of Fernando Alonso or maybe the other way around for no reason. I actually picked up a few pieces of carbon fiber off that straight, and I don't know, really cool, and some gravel, so I'm guilty of theft, I guess, too. But come at me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, come at me.
You know this is submissible, right? Like this is.
No, I'm saying all these things under duress.
Oh, okay. All right. Just off camera, there's someone with a gun to your head saying.
There is, yeah, actually. I work in legal, so I, can say that.
Oh
Oh my God.
Lord. So you do use a Fanatec. So you using a what do you got? Which is it, DD Pro? DD
It's the DD Pro. I have the load cell pedal, which I really enjoy. I think I needed the standard for the load cell, the standard like rubber elastomers that come with it are really stiff.
Yeah, they really are.
Insert joke here. So I had to buy like a mod so that I could just press it down more and get more travel. And that really makes a huge difference just for muscle memory. I have the McLaren wheel. I also have a WRC wheel that's right here. I don't really use it very much because I like the paddles on the bottom of the McLaren wheel. You can use it for like, looking left and right in Gran Turismo, or you can have it be the clutch or the handbrake, or even the accelerator and the brake. It's pretty cool.
During the endurance race at Le Mans specifically, I use a McLaren wheel because you could put it on accelerator and then you could relax your legs down that whole straight and just hold the bottom paddle. It made it really nice to be able to relax a little bit.
Yeah, that was a huge call out. I think you said that like 30 minutes into the race, and I was like, why wasn't I doing that? So I, did the little adjustment, and yeah, and then I was kind of sitting there like, I'd go on my phone and like, does anyone need me? Is there any emergencies?
The thing I love about the McLaren wheel a lot is the ability to use the basically to shift up or down from the wrong side by using the paddle in the opposite direction. So like on the left side, if you push the paddle forward, it'll upshift, or vice versa. And I just find it like when you're turning, it's just a lot easier to upshift or downshift like where you are, with whatever the dominant hand is than otherwise. And whenever I'm doing the rally stuff on like the round wheel, I wish that I could do that. Like I wish that was a thing you could do on everything.
Yeah, that's a really novel thing.
So let's get into it. GT3. We had Nürburgring, and that was exciting. And obviously there's been some things going on, but guys, Bad Rock, tell me what you thought about that race. How did it go for you?
I really enjoyed it. I had a decent qualifying, and then I kind of dropped a few places back in the beginning. I was kind of hot on your heels and getting into it with you and I'm not sure who. Maybe it was Chaotica. Yeah, right. And then I made a mistake and cost myself 5 or 6 seconds going off into the gravel. And luckily I held on to it relatively well, but it cost me. I dropped to about 5 seconds behind you two. Kind of stuck it in there, and just overall, it felt like a pretty solid race aside from that one error. And it just felt like everyone was doing a lot of good racing, and every time there were position changes, it was like, someone would make a mistake, someone would scoop it up, someone else would make a mistake, someone would scoop it up, and for me, I was in the midfield for most of the time. So I almost feel like I missed a lot of whatever went on because like everything that happened around me was like relatively straightforward and consistent for most of it. But my biggest disappointment, I'll tell you, was in the beginning. It really looked like there might be some rain, and when none showed up, it was a little sad. Like every time, it looks like there might be a little chaos introduced into our league in that way. It sort of misses us, and I'm just waiting for the day.
Well,
Yeah, it did
Boat,
threaten
you
rain. I
you
remember
won
at
the
the
race.
beginning of the
What were
race.
you driving this time? What were you driving, Boat? Was it
Oh, I was in the Genesis.
you were in
So
the Genesis this time, right? Okay.
yeah, the Hyundai backed Genesis, which I think had just been nerfed in a BOP update, but because I usually hate that car because it just wants to kill you, and there's nothing I could do to ever stop it. So
They nerfed it.
I was happy I didn't crash multiple times
They nerfed
because that
it,
was
and you
definitely a
still
possibility.
won.
Yeah, just once.
Congratulations. Well done. Um, did you have any competitive? Tell us as you were going through. Where did you quali?
I think I was second for like 9 minutes and 50 seconds of the entire quali, and then at the very end, um, I got fastest lap by like a couple tenths. Junkai had it, and I couldn't beat it. I kept messing up through the Schumacher S's and hitting the gravel, and just killed me. So I I was able to pull it out at the end.
Well done. Well done. Good victory. Second, so let's talk about the leaderboard. I'm gonna flash that up for everybody real quick. So, as we discussed, Boat, congratulations to him, took first place with the victory there at Nürburgring GP. Second, was Texas Speed Stars. He took second place, and they took that away from yours truly in the last lap, basically. So I finished third. Um, and yeah, he made an excellent pass, super clean there in turn one on like the last lap or next to last lap, and took second place away from me. Um, teams we're going to talk is obviously Lexus is still in the lead, although not by a significant amount as they were. But they are leading with 49 points after a pretty good weekend that they had as well. Followed by Team Ford with 43, and Team Toyota wrapping out number 3 with 39. So, what do we think about where the teams stand right now? What does everybody think?
Well, Team Audi, I think we're just waiting to find our stride. Recently benefiting from some of the BOP changes, right? I think that we're cars a little bit lighter. I'm finding it really hard to say whether the biggest changes, like the BOP changes, or the fact that we just weren't at Daytona, and that we were at a different track. But the car didn't feel like as sluggish as it did the first time around. So, optimistic that we're gonna get into the flow. We're gonna come back, and yeah, we're getting the bad ones out of the way early. That's all.
Boat?
Meanwhile, I gotta be honest. I'm also nervously eyeballing that relegation line for myself. So yeah, I am nervous. So
You're above it at the time. Believe me, I've
so
been
yeah,
below it.
for a moment, I'm here. I'm alive
I've
for
been
now.
below it. But what do you think about the teams? Which one? You've driven several of them. I think you drove the Audi at Daytona. Now you've
Hmm.
driven the Genesis, right?
Yeah,
What do you think?
yeah. I would say with respect to the Group 3 cars, I think that there are a lot of cars that have different strengths at different tracks. The Ford GT, I thought, is along with the Genesis um, and the Toyota, were really strong at Daytona. And the Nürburgring was a really, it's quite a different track. It's not, half of an oval. So I think I'm surprised that the Fords did as well as they did, and the Supras as well. Um, and the Lexus somehow is, I never see it used online, but for whatever reason, the guys are just doing really well, and the Group 4 guys too.
Well, speaking of Group 4 had an interesting weekend as well. So with Group 4, Dirksey is leading that. Here, the leaderboard. We're gonna put that up now. Dirksey is leading GT4 with 20 points, but he is tied with Preston. So these two are neck and neck, and I believe these two guys were battling all weekend as well.
Yeah,
So
let's talk about my boy Preston for a minute, shall we? All right. Now here's a guy we're talking about the relegation line, and I'm eyeballing it nervously, thinking I'm going down to Group 4. Meanwhile, Preston's coming up from behind to eat my lunch, and I don't know if this is some old Sunday Cup shit or whatever, but like I'm worried about it. I'm worried about it. I caught the middle of the race while it was live, and then I like saw everyone blow up on the Discord about the ending. So I went back and I watched the last couple of laps, and that was great too. And then in preparation for the podcast, I went back and I rewatched like the first 5 or 6 laps, and it's just like, hot damn! Like, where did this come from, press? Like, what is going on here? Because I'm nervous. So, big up to him. But I mean, him and Dirksey were fighting it out the whole time, and Cowhow as well. Like that whole, it was like awesome. That was a great race.
yeah, yeah, it was super good. I mean, those two battled it out. It was a nail biter all the way down to the end. I was doing the stream, of course, and I was watching, and I was like, "Oh my God, these guys! I want to, I got to give other people attention, but these guys got a serious battle, and they have for quite a while. They were in a struggle."
Yeah, it's impressive stuff. Bo, did you catch any of that race?
I caught a little bit. I watched a little bit after the fact, and I mean the Group 4 cars. They're. I love Group 4 racing because there's no clear dominant car except for the Mazda 3. It's ridiculously fast, but I drive a Mazda 3 in real life. It is not that fast, so just put those notions to bed. But I think it makes for really great racing, and you can really learn a lot of close racing and good racecraft. So um, I thought the guys did a great job.
There was it Anatole who had that overtake that he posted?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, oh my God. Like I don't know who the other two in it were, but it was like that whole clip of the replay. I went back and I rewatched it again. I was like, oh my God, like that was dirty. It just so good.
yeah. And someone put I think like a little screenshot of how close he was to the rear of whatever car he was
Oh,
overtaking, and it was
I
like
didn't
a
see that.
little playing
I
card between there. It was impressive.
I, I gotta find that.
It was
That
we're gonna put a clip up on it. That was it was a super clean pass, and it looked like it was just textbook the way he transitioned and boom, and it was really close. Well done.
yeah,
Good move. Anyway,
gone
rounding
sexual. Like sorry.
ra-
I think I broke Merc.
rounding out third rounding out third in GT4 is Camzilla. We got off on a tangent there and a weird one that it kind of wrapped up to be, but rounding out third is Camzilla with 16 points. So Cam, you're close in there, all three of you above the promotion line, and all three of you at and Cam has had fastest lap both races. No win, but fastest lap in both races. So he's doing something right and he's nipping on their heels. These three are going to have a battle all season long. I can just see this coming.
It sure looks that way. I mean, just looking at the scorecard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, real
So
close.
they're going to make things interesting as we go on. And it always seems, and I know with GT4, it seems like those guys almost get their races are more competitive and closer, and they're constantly jockeying for position. It just always constantly feels like they got a lot more going on there in GT4 than we do in GT3. Do you guys kind of notice that as well when you watch it?
I mean, this feels like some of that old like college football is better than the NFL stuff. Well, they want it more. I don't know. I don't know, man. I think we're all out there racing our hearts out all the time. I'm not trying to take anything away from the Group 4 guys, but I'm saying like everybody's out there going as hard as they can all the time. Like we all want it. So yeah, they want it. They're really like they're after it because we're all after it.
Yeah, it's
Awesome.
close racing. It's close racing over there. Anytime I've seen screenshots or video clips, there's always a bunch of people in a line. All of the cars are close together on the track, so it's pretty cool.
Preston said something during the safety car for the Group 3 race when he was driving the safety car for us. And he said, one of the coolest things he goes so far about driving the safety car is looking back and seeing that long, like, line of everybody, like, driving behind, like, the whole league, and it's just like, he said that. And I was like, man, that probably is really awesome. Like, that's got to be really cool.
I tried to include it in a podcast because I was thinking about that as the safety car came out for GT4. I remember him saying that over the comms, and I was like, I want to check that out. So I set it up, and it did look really cool to have all the cars lined up. Some of them zigzagging and going. It was just a really neat angle to see. He's right.
Noted.
So. So, okay, well, that pretty much discusses GT. We've got the next track coming up is going to be Sardinia. Does anybody have any feelings, positive or negative, about Sardinia?
Is anxiety a feeling?
It's something.
It's something. Well, I feel something about it. I feel anxiety.
Yeah,
Oh, what do you think?
If I remember correctly, Sardinia has a lot of walls close to the track limits. So you're not so much going off track as you are going into a wall, which can be very frustrating. um, but yeah, it's all of the sort of fantasy tracks that Gran Turismo has made. I really like them. I think they're really good. And except for the one that has that chicane, the Dragon Trail, the one where
Yeah,
it's like
the chicane,
the
Dragon
depth
Trail
chicane.
side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one's crazy. But all the other ones I think are really good, and I wish they were real.
Just a quick correction, though. I believe it's pronounced Sardegna.
Oh, okay.
Sardinia?
Sorry
Yeah,
to all
yeah.
It's all right. Anatole will correct us. It'll be down there. It'll be a video. It'll have like, babble how to say it and everything.
Sardinia. It'll
Yeah.
have a little robot with the pinch emoji. Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Some chick will come out and tell us, did you say Sardinia? Yeah.
That I mean, to my untrained ear, sounded fantastic.
Sounded pretty good.
So, all right, well, that's where we head next with GT. So, the story continues. This is the longest season we've ever had with GT. So this is going to be a total of 8 races in this season. Normally we're 6 to 7. Last one was 6. Normally they're about 7. So we've got a extra long season this time. And so it's going to be we got a long way to go. The people that are in the lead and where they're at, teams that are leading right now aren't necessarily the winners. So, Boat, you're a reserve driver for GT3. So far you've gotten to drive 2 out of the 7 cars that are fielded. So you're definitely getting a variety, a Forrest Gump variety of race cars for the season. So we'll see. Are you planning to fill in Sardinia for when we do it?
I don't think so. I don't think anyone has planned, or maybe I don't think anyone else has planned to be out, unless anyone else has emergency knee surgery. But hopefully not.
We don't want any like Nancy Kerrigan situations here, to be clear, in the league.
No.
All right, so we don't want anybody. All right.
Look, I'm not going over to Merck's house to, take a brick to his knee or something. It's not how I operate. Okay.
It's great.
Um, but no, a lot of the tracks look really good, and I think the car selection was really interesting, the way the draft worked out, and you have good drivers with cars that they wouldn't have necessarily picked, and so they try to make those work as best as possible. So it'll be close for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's time for all the teams to prep, get ready, get your plans together, your strategies, fuel, all that happy, good, lucky stuff. So, Interesting. Let's also talk about over the weekend prior to this most recent weekend. We had Sunday Cup. Sunday Cup was I guess a mixed bag of opinions as to whether people enjoyed it or they didn't. It was NASCAR. This is the second time we've done NASCAR. Badrock, did you drive in NASCAR this one in Sunday Cup?
No, I pulled out a Sunday Cup for this season, unfortunately.
Gotcha. Okay. So yes, this was a massively chaotic Northern Isle was insane. Back and forth bumping, crashing. And it was like it felt like 100 laps because that track is only 15 seconds in lap time and you're going for 15 minutes. So just over and over again. And then we had Daytona Tri-Oval, which was to be expected if you ever seen a real NASCAR race. There's always the big one, and I think we had 2 or maybe even 3 of those uh, throughout the pack. So the people that got away enjoyed it, and the people who didn't went away and were completely pissed at the end. So
I'm
it was
just
a real.
imagining that driver radio and being thrilled that I wasn't on it.
The comms were hilarious. I mean, I was muted as I always am, but I was thoroughly laughing my ass off as the comms were going on because people were so mad. But I don't know. I guess people had fun. I had fun.
I guess people had fun. That's a glowing review you got there, Merc. That's
I guess. That's all I
Look,
got.
there's always a few Danica Patricks on the NASCAR races. I'll tell you that. So
Hey, somebody's got to do it, right? I mean, somebody's got to be the Danica of the group. So it's
exactly.
okay. Yeah.
I saw her on a racing broadcast at one point, and I thought to myself, I never really saw her on a racetrack, and I don't know whether it's fair what everybody says about her as a racer, like whether she's got no talent on the track or not. I don't know if that's fair or not. But what I can say for sure is she doesn't have any talent in front of a camera. It's like I do not want to see her on a racing broadcast again. I felt really bad about it, but I was like, let's find someone who can actually talk about this stuff, please. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. You can clip that.
Danica, if you're watching, we're sorry.
I was just trying to think about what the meanest thing I could say about Danica Patrick was, and oops.
We'll still take a picture of you in your swimsuit, though. Don't worry. I mean, if you want to forward that to us, Danica, we'll still accept.
I'm sure she'll be devastated when she hears what I think of her.
Oh, Badrock! I'm gonna get out. Write a letter.
She's gonna write a very angry letter.
No, it'll be a tweet. Angry.
It's called
tweet.
It's X now. It's called
X
now.
X. Yeah, it's
X
now.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Elon.
Sorry, Elon. Don't sue us, Elon.
Yeah.
Don't sue us.
I'm actually not trying to mess with Elon here. I don't want to get sued.
They're always fun.
So okay, well, which brings us to our next and final category that we usually talk about, which is Mazda. And Boat, you kind of you and Besso head up Mazda together, kind of create this thing. I'm gonna let you take this away and talk about your leaders and talk about what you got coming and what you're gonna tell us and what you're gonna keep secret.
Yeah, so the last race we had, I thought was really great. It was at Laguna Seca, and Laguna Seca, famous for, I don't know if you heard this, but people who moved there 30 years ago, near what they knew was a racetrack, are now suing or filing motions to get the racetrack removed, even though they knew it was already there they're claiming it's too loud. So, fun fact for you that I didn't plan on sharing. But the race was great, really close. The Laguna Seca is it's a mixed bag every time I go there. I feel like I'm either doing really well and not touching the gravel at all, or I'm just hitting it every lap, same few places, and I can't put anything clean together. And I thought in quali, everybody was really clean. I saw a few people go off, and when they rejoined, sometimes you're ghosted, sometimes you're not. People were really cognizant of where everyone was. And I think TX Speedstars took pole, if I'm not mistaken, which was great. I couldn't even touch the time that he put down. Um, and then in the race, he just took off, and I spun myself out. I made a right turn when I was supposed to go straight on the second lap, which you shouldn't do if you're
Yeah, that's not a
looking
yeah.
for tips. Usually on the straights, you want to go straight.
Pro tip.
Yeah, that's much quicker. And
Sorry
when
about
his
that.
internet holds out, he does really well. So thankfully the Pirate Bay downloads were paused, and he was able to just run away with it. Him and Victor, even Victor got second place, even though not even registered, just jumped in, and we had open spots. So
It's what you call a statement race, I believe. You just show up and drop the mic.
hey, look, it's the equivalent of like, some random Joe jumping on the NFL field and like, scoring a touchdown. So credit to Victor. I was putting the write up together, and I'm like, wait, is he registered? He's not. But credit to him. And I think all around it was pretty close. And I think just in general, the fact that everyone could keep it mostly on track for 30 minutes was a testament in and of itself, because that car is, especially on the tires we chose for everyone, it's pretty challenging. It does want to slide. A lot of corners around Laguna Seca, not a lot of room for error. I know Bad Rock, you had a good battle there with.
Oh my god.
Was it?
I'm devastated that I can't remember who it was with. I want to say it was Thrasher. I think might have been Cam, but whoever it was really, really long. And no, maybe it was Cowhow. Whoever it was like this like long, protracted battle. We traded places like a million times. It was like very clean, very close. Like there was like where there was contact, it was that sort of occasional, like everyone's very clear, everyone's trying to give all the respect and everything. And finally in the last lap, I got him, and I kind of just hovered in his mirrors and made him guess a little bit too much or whatever, and I guess I got him. But like it could have just as easily gone the other way, and it was like honestly every race in the Mazda series for me has been like, even though I'm again like firmly in the midfield, it's always this thrilling like white knuckle thing where it's just, and it for some reason always comes to me in the race. Like I'll practice for it and I won't be doing well, and then in quali I'll do like okay, and then somehow in the race like I actually show up in the Mazda, and like I don't know why, but like it just kind of comes alive for me. And it's a great series, and that race in particular, though, I felt like actually much like I said about the Group 3 race at Nürburgring this week, it just felt like everybody had like a really good, like this is why we're here kind of race, even if it was for me like for 8th place in that race. It just felt like, yeah, this is why I do this for 8th. What? Like I don't.
Was Texas Speedstars livery still Halloween?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. I remember because the last thing I saw before I slid off into the wall was the boo and the ghost in the back of his car.
Awesome.
But yeah, so we got one more race left in the Mazda League at Tsukuba, and there is the threat of rain. So we could be off of the dreaded Sport Hard and onto the intermediate tire, which has not been tested, but it'll be exciting for sure to see what happens. Might be a pit stop or two, depending on what happens. And next season we got a few things lined up. I think the philosophy of the league stays the same. We might change the name depending on the car. We've had a few ideas floated around. The Shake and Bake League, the Little PP League, the Sports Car Challenge, which is what we'll likely go with, something along those lines.
Let's go with the totally tubular, but then they should be the radicals.
Maybe just in all caps we'll have Daytona with exclamation points. We'll do that, and we'll only race at Daytona.
Respect your elders.
Yeah. Excuse me, sir. Sorry. But we have a few car choices out. We're gonna do some testing. I think right now there's 2 top contenders, so we're gonna look into those and the tires and just make sure everything's drivable and people can race close and have control. And that's really the philosophy of what this sub league is all about, to hone your craft, have some good battles, and You know, I think in some cases the points are kind of irrelevant. If you can have a good time and some good battles and come out with a win, then that's awesome. So
So what's the
we're cooking up some
details
things.
of Tsukuba gonna be? Is it what are we looking at? Is it potential for rain, or we don't know what the weather's gonna do?
I think there is potential for rain. I have to relook over the rules myself, but
I feel like the rules. I feel like the rules say it will rain. I'm pretty sure the rules say that it will rain at some period in the race.
well, whatever the rules say, we're gonna go with that. So don't trust me.
So it's
I could be
likely to
wrong
have
too. Yeah,
rain.
I mean, don't take my word for it either. But I feel like I feel like it will rain. And I have a question for you though about it because Laguna Seca. Actually, I agree with you that I was kind of surprised that there was as much clean racing there. Not because people would race dirty, but because that corkscrew is a recipe for disaster. And then that left hander on the way up the hill, of course, always people try and go 2x2 through there, and it turns into a disaster. So it's a Cuba. How many laps are we going to go before we hear someone cursing because they've gone off track? And then I have a follow up question for you after that.
Well, I would say it depends on who joins the race, right? Like
Fair.
if it's Besso, which well he'll likely be there, there will be a lot of cursing, but in Spanish.
So it's funny because my follow up question was, will the cursing? What will the language be for the cursing?
Definitely Spanish, some maybe Italian, and certainly in English. If there is heavy rain, so I'm reading the rules right now, and there definitely will be rain, but the only variable is how much rain. So bring your board shorts and your your floaties, and we're gonna have a good race.
And here on Deviant, we're multinational, multilingual.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna cuss in every language that we can think of. So yes, I
That's the
agree. There's
respect
gonna
we
be
have.
a ton of cussing at Scuba.
You know, God willing, we'll create our own language with brand new swear words, unique only to our racing league. Like that's how dedicated we are to our cause.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, all right. Well, guys, so what else do you guys want to talk about? Do you want to talk a little bit about some of that cool stuff behind Boat that he's got back there? Anything neat? You got it. What what's over top? Are those more Lego characters or what is that?
Now, do you have a Lego Dom in that car up on top of the tower, or is it?
Oh yeah, it's Fast and
No.
Furious, right?
Yeah, it is. It's so I get to show off my whole Lego Technic collection. So yeah, this is Dom's charger.
I think I
Little
get
show and
some of
tell.
these.
The you can see the blower here and the little components move, or they're supposed to move. Uh and then it has let's see. You got the NOS back there. So authentic, and then the California license plate. So that's great. And then
Can it
I
double
also
clutch?
have, there's no granny shifting
No,
allowed
no,
in.
it doesn't granny shift. Okay, all
No,
right.
no, it doesn't granny shift. I tried. You can't. You got to double
Shame.
clutch it.
All right, no,
Um, and then this one actually is really cool. It's the Porsche 911 Turbo.
nice.
Um, there's a Targa top version, but you got your turbo in the back there. Uh, and just a really cool car. I enjoy building these because I can put them on my desk and look at them. And I've gotten one every year for the last like year or two, 2 or 3 years, I think. So
I'm gonna
pretty
have to
cool.
get the. I'm not into. I haven't even been in Lego since I was a small child, but that stuff is super cool. And what do they have? Like, do they have a ton of these models, or is it like just selective ones, or what?
Yeah, so they have quite a few different types of models. You can get like the road car versions, like the Porsche that I just showed you. I think they have a Mustang and a Camaro, and those are like maybe 120. So I've I've had my eye on a few of those. But like the Le Mans car that I showed you was like it was pretty pricey. It was, definitely I put it on the list and I'm like, I think this is the only thing I'm getting this year. So um, there's GT3 cars. You can get the Porsche 911 GT3 RS, which is hot commodity. and I think the Ferrari 488 also too is out there. So if you just go on Lego, you can look through all their Technic stuff. It's fun to put together, um, and then you can do show and tell like I just did. So
I'm gonna have to do that.
I have a show and tell for you. It's not Lego. It's not as cool, but I did 3D print this the other day. This little F1 car here.
Nice.
oh, that's cool.
And it has the wheel spin, which
Oh,
if I could
cool.
figure out which are the yeah, but
Awesome.
they're crazily flat spotted because of you can't see it, but like because of the way that it printed, like the part of the wheels are like flat from where they were on the ground. So it looks like someone just like really overcooked the brakes on the way into one of the turns. It's like, oh, we got to get him in the pit, change of tires.
He locked up his all
pretty much.
black non-liveried F1 car. He locked up.
It's all carbon fiber. It's the rage.
Yeah.
You could print little deviant stickers and put on it, and then sell them for $1.99, $2.99 plus shipping. Like the way they do it on QVC, it's like $1.99, but $65 for shipping and handling. Buy two.
Oh
get
yeah,
one
no,
free,
yeah, that's yeah, that's the plan. Actually, I've just got a row of printers in the basement now. I'm just constantly cranking out these little high quality 3D printed F1 cars with barely spinning wheels.
When do you quit your job?
Oh, I did already. Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
actually, I took out a big loan to get the 3D printers and everything. I'm actually relying on you guys for big first order. You guys are going to come through for that, right?
Oh, geez, that's a lot of pressure.
Oh, Gil really needs a sale.
Well, you could also get creative with the pricing like QVC does, right? You could do like 4 installments of 50 cents, right?
Hey,
4 easy payments of
Yeah.
99 cents or something
that
like
generates a long-term income.
Right.
Yeah.
They call it recurring revenue stream. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
right.
there we go.
That's right. That's
You're
right.
coming to Deviant Racing League / business podcast.
Get it before its supplies run out. They're going fast. So, all right. Well, guys, it's been a great episode. Thank you, Bad Rock, for co-hosting with me while Junkai has been out. Boat, thanks for joining us. It's always good to get to meet some of our new drivers. Appreciate you being here, and we're going to continue to watch and pick your brain for just how fast you are and see if we can try to replicate that, because you kind of blow our minds sometimes. But for all the rest of you, you're always welcome on the podcast. Always hit us up and let us know if you're interested. Let us know in the comment section that you want to do it, and we'll reach out and we'll get somebody new occasionally to come in and talk and share how they do their racing and where they're at and who they are and where they are in the world. So thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
everybody. Bye.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna have to get those Lego things. I'm going on there after this right now.
Dude, these are sweet. They have I think they have like, you can get the Batmobile from the new Batman movie. That's like $120 or something. That one looks cool.
Like, I kind of want that now.
Yeah.
I kind of want that now.
Yeah, it lights up. It lights up too. Put some batteries in it. It lights up.
Let's see. Let me actually. I'm gonna move you guys around on the recording. Nope, that's wrong. That's right. There we go. Yeah.
Anytime you go under the knife, it's a little scary. So, 'cause you never know.
You never know.
Yeah, definitely.
You never know.
Especially an old man like that. I mean, he's near death enough as it is. It's the worst.
Like, damn, this wore out.
I mean, honestly, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I did write a eulogy just in case, like for Inside the League. I just.
No, they took one look at that beard and they're like, "We got to save this one, boys. No matter what. Not letting this one go."
Take a look at that beard, and I'd be like, it's gonna fix itself. Like he's got his masculine energy is just gonna heal. It's like Wolverine style, gonna fix your leg.
Auto heal.
Check this out.
Yeah.
Oh,
look at that.
Dude, that's sweet.
They got this is the
how big is that for $25?
It probably isn't very big.
Yeah, the 911 Merc, the 911 is probably the size of the that Fast and Furious Charger I have. It's a good size.
Let's see. We won $100 plus, don't we?
That Formula E card looked cool.
We want the big stuff.
Oh yeah, this Formula One car.
The
Ooh.
Ferrari Daytona, dude.
I want the Formula One car.
Oh yeah, the Formula One, yeah. A Lambo.
I like Lando well enough too. So
Here's the Peugeot that you got. That's
Oh
sweet.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
What is this? Audi
Oh, the e-tron.
e-tron.
That Carlos Sainz's dad just won the Dakar in that car.
Look at this.
can't believe that old man's still racing.
Dude, he's like 65.
I
It's
know it's
crazy.
nuts.
Look at the box it comes in. Look how cool that is.
Oh.
It's nuts.
Oh, dude, this is
It's
is
so
this thing
cool.
powered?
Oh, it's remote control.
What?
Yeah. Battery powered.
Battery powered.
Okay, that makes that $450 price tag like so much more acceptable.
Is this thing really 400? It is 450.
Yeah, that's
Holy.
expensive.
Field power. Hmm.
Wow, that rear end.
Working 8-speed sequential gearbox with paddle shifter is what it said.
No way.
That's what it said.
Yes.
Working 8-speed
Yes.
sequential gearbox with
Oh my
paddle shifter.
gosh.
Give me a break. Working.
Give me a break.
Because you have to build that. That means you have to build that.
You got a little Lego man in there, like hitting the paddles.
Yeah, how are you gonna build a sequential gearbox out of Lego?
Two tweezers and a magnifier.
Exactly. Yeah,
That's a
one
smart.
year.
That's a smart move. I should do that.
Look at all this stuff inside. This
Oh,
is gonna
that's
take me
cool.
forever.
That is cool.
That's
Damn.
cool. It's got the wheel.
It's got the the tube right there too, right to the right
It
of the steering
does.
wheel. Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Oh, look at this Land Rover, dude. Look at this.
Dude, that's sick. That is cool looking.
Whoa. Look at all the crap on the
I know, just like all the crap.
Land Rover.
How big is this? Does it? Oh, here we go. Here's the dimensions. So 13 inches by 7 by 7. Is that about the same size boat?
I think it's probably the same size as my Porsche. Probably
Yeah.
taller than obviously, but
Yeah. Oh, the Back to the Future car.
Nice.
Oh, look, it's got the hook.
Uh-huh.
See, that feels like something I could get away with 3D printing because the DeLorean is so like angular anyway.
It's got the wheels from episode 2.
Oh,
Oh my god, that's funny. The hover wheels.
Yeah, and look at all the accessories it comes with. Look, the hoverboard.
Oh, Doc and Marty.
Yeah, Doc and Marty.
It's got the Mr.
Oh, that's
Garbage
pretty
compactor
cool.
thing or whatever from the that's the
Yeah.
little white tower thing is, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that you can
dude,
fit
that's
to it.
cool.
That's cool.